Welcome back to the show. Well, earlier on in the show, we were talking to Dr. Stephanie Rubino and mentioning that exercise routine is so important, and just as important to get outside and enjoy some fresh air and some sunshine. And the Rideau Winter Trail is a great way to do that. I know when you think Winter Trail, you probably think, well, I'm not a cross-country skier. Well, there's more than that, and I am joined by the President and Director of Operations of the Rideau Winter Trail, Peter Noor. Peter, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much, Derek. It's nice to be here.
Peter, let's talk about sort of the inspiration behind that. You know, I think we're so fortunate here in Ottawa. We're seeing more and more of these urban trails, but
Absolutely.
This specific winter trail that I guess, it's connected with the Rideau Sports Center. How did this all come to be?
Well, it kind of goes back to 2017. The president of the Rideau Sports Center, Nikki Bridgeland, and two councillors actually, which was Mathieu Fleury and Toby Nussbaum, who's now the president of with the NCC. Mm-hmm. We actually had a meeting with one of the other cheap groomers, which was Dave, Groomer Dave, many know him as, that started the Kitchissippi, that was sort of a leader for us. Yeah. And we started to play with that idea.
Yeah, and I mentioned that Peter, it's more than just cross-country skiing, because we want to encourage people to get out and be able to enjoy the outdoors and sort of embrace winter. We're the capital of, one of the coldest countries, of course, in the world, and so we should be doing more of that. So tell me what other activities people do on the winter.
So we have it pretty much open for everybody and anybody. I've seen there's one couple, she skis with her dad quite often. She skis, he walks. He's no longer skiing. We walk on the trail regularly. Cross-country skiing, both classic and skate. People fat bike on it, and generally enjoy the outdoors all the way around.
How should we respect the trail? That's something that often comes up in conversations that I have with people.
That's a really good question. So we really try and do our best to keep the trail refreshed as much as possible. Really the main thing, if there's any one thing, is that the classic tracks, so the cross-country ski tracks, kind of look like the railroads on either side.
Right.
If we can avoid stepping on those, that's a big thing. Everything else we can kind of manage it. If the conditions are really soft, it makes it hard to walk or bike on the trail anyways, or even ski. So that's the days that you kind of maybe say, okay, I'll do something else maybe.
Right. What does it take to maintain the trail, and who maintains it, Peter?
So we're 100% volunteer run, so it's all volunteers, and there's a lot. We start in the fall, we're trimming trees, we get a lot of help with our partners, the NCC and the City of Ottawa. Couldn't do it without them, absolutely. Yeah. And then through the season, we run some machinery. A lot of people use snowmobiles. We happen to use tracked ATVs, and then we pull a number of implements behind them to kind of chew up the snow and set some nice tracks, lay down some nice corduroy and some nice classic tracks.
Very nice. You brought the trail map along with you here, so sort of describe the trail itself and the route.
Yeah, so you mentioned the Rideau Sports Center, which is up here at the north end of the trail by Donald Street, and basically follows through River Rain Park. Under the 417, there's a section that you actually have to walk. And once you get under there, the trail starts again, and it basically is sections of trails, really nice hills, which is something we're really lucky with on our trail. Actually continues all the way down to Bank Street through there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Obviously, to maintain something like this, it costs money. Where does the funding come from?
So, variety of sources. We have some sponsors, and we're always looking for more. So that's an easy one. A lot of small sponsors too. We have a GoFundMe, and we also take e-transfers directly that you can find on our website. And this year we were actually really lucky to get an Ontario Trillium Foundation grant that really made a big difference to purchase some of those larger pieces of equipment that we need.
Peter, how and why did you get involved in putting this together?
Well, kind of two reasons. I'm quite involved with cross-country skiing. I'm a coach at a local club, Nackertalk.
Oh yes, I'm familiar.
And very active there. And I also live very near near the Rideau Sports Center. So actually, when we sort of had that initial meeting, I'm not sure exactly how my name came up, but it kind of went from there.
You were voluntold in a way, I guess, Peter. But I mean, they know when somebody like yourself is so passionate about a particular sport, it's pretty easy to reach out and get somebody like yourself involved, right?
Yeah, and it by far isn't just me. We have about 40 volunteers that all participate at different parts. We have, we even have to do some waste collection on the trail. I mean, everything gets done by volunteers, and it really, there are a lot of passionate people, to be completely honest.
Peter, when it comes to, you mentioned all the other activities, but let's talk, because, that's sort of your passion is cross-country skiing. I think, once, and then the availability of buying used equipment and that kind of thing now, I think it really makes it more accessible to people. For people that may be interested, how would you introduce the sport to them?
So lot of different ways, and I'd say even for snowshoeing on the trail or nearby.
Yeah.
So we have a partnership with what is called the Ottawa Outdoor Gear Library, and we've set up a branch near the trail, and people can go there and borrow equipment, which is great.
Okay.
So it's accessible that way. On February 11th, it's National Sports and Fitness Day, the winter edition, and we will have on-site snowshoe and ski rentals, so you can basically go out and try it that day.
Terrific.
And we sort of do those kind of pop-ups every once in a while.
Before I run out of time, I want to show everybody at home this, because this just happened in the last couple of days. Tell me about this I guess, presentation that you had a couple of days ago.
Speaking of very inspired volunteers and dedicated, one of our volunteers, Stuart, made this last year as a picture. And on Friday, we were out grooming, and he said, we have to make a stop at the top of Herdman Hill. I had no idea. We were just getting the trail ready for the weekend. Okay. And I pulled up to Herdman Hill. When the headlights of the machine hit it, it was nighttime now, a huge RWT, a huge sign that was on there made of cross-country skis that had been donated, but skis that really aren't useful for skiing anymore. They're kind of past due. So we had this kind of same idea, but about a 5-foot-tall Rideau Winter Trail sign, which is absolutely amazing. And not only that, it's mounted on skis, okay. so we can move it around the trail. So one of the challenges we have now is that you have to go and spot the sign somewhere. I
love it. Well, I live in the neighborhood. My wife and I are going on the trail tomorrow, so we will keep an eye out on that and make it a little scavenger hunt for ourselves. Really appreciate the time, Peter. Thanks so much for joining us again. Find out more information. RideauWinterTrail.ca is the place to go. We'll be back with more Daytime Ottawa after this. Don't go anywhere.